Welcome everybody to JCTV. We're live here at Iowa Speedway for some short track racing. I'm Joshua Copperl. I'm joined in the booth with me by Adam Kuhn. How you doing, Adam?
Doing good. Should be fun tonight. Be back in the booths with you, Josh, after a week off. Excited to be back here tonight.
Yeah, it is really exciting. I'm glad to see some more racing again. Last time out, we were at AutoClub. We saw first-time winner in Joseph Lester take the victory. Currently sitting P2 on the practice charts here. Let's actually go ahead and bring in old Lester and talk to him. Hey, Joseph, it's Josh up in the JCTV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy on you.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm actually about to go do a mock Q run right here.
So, while you're doing that, last time out, you got the victory, your first victory in the Unofficial Truck Series. What's it going to take here to get it done tonight?
I don't know. I just think it's just gonna be a team effort between me and Michael. We've been doing practice. We did like a little practice race with some of the long or short bus guys yesterday. We had some good long run speed. Maybe not the best short run, but we were pretty fast long run.
Well, I got a very interesting question for you here. I know you recently started a job, and I know when I started working my first time, I was super worn out. Even after just one day of working, like I did not want to do anything. You had work today, you're out of work, just kind of getting home. How are you feeling? Is it going to take any toll on you for racing tonight? Or is all that kind of are past all that, just getting started in and working and ready to go tonight?
Nah, I mean, I actually just got home about 30, or not 30 minutes ago, about 15 minutes ago, so, I think I'm fine. I've gotten back into my groove. I'm actually running faster laps than I was yesterday. I don't think it'll take a toll on me. If it does, it'll be at the very end of the race, so let's hope it doesn't.
All right, sitting P2 on the speed chart so far for practice. We'll let you get back up in there with your teammates, and maybe we'll talk to you a little bit later on in the race.
Yeah, I'm about to be P1.
That was Joseph Lester, driver row number 4. Toyota for Pistobrook Racing. The Iowa Hawkeyes scheme tonight, of course, driving a different paint scheme every single week, depending on where they're racing at that week. Well, Adam, this is the first short track of the season. And, we saw a lot of... Well, actually, we saw Charlotte and AutoClub, 1.5 and 2 mile tracks. What are you expecting here tonight, knowing that it's not going to be the type of racing that we saw at Charlotte or AutoClub, or even at Daytona to start off the season?
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how the race will play out tonight with the field we have lined up. I'm hoping it won't be filled with crashes like a lot of people are expecting here, and kind of usually the trend on short tracks in iRacing, but it's a new track to the league, so we might as well expect it, and pretty good chances of happening, but it might just be survival, but it might come down to long runs, honestly, the way this track comes down to tire wear. It could be a long run all the way to the end, so we're gonna have to just see how the race plays out, honestly, and it could go any different way, I believe.
We did see a bump and run, if you will, last time out at AutoClub between two teammates. You think it's going to take that to win tonight? Another bump and run?
Oh, absolutely. We saw it a lot last season too, or situations close to it. especially on the short track when it came down towards the end of the season. Lots of controversial ones too, especially at Milwaukee and Indianapolis Raceway. So it is going to be very intriguing to see how it comes down to that. We saw it at a 2 mile last race out at California, like you mentioned, between two new teammates. And we have two veteran teammates who win at it between the championship last year, and now they're split on different teams in terms of points. So, could be very interesting dynamic towards the end of the race, like you mentioned, Josh.
Short track racing is definitely one of my favorite things to see. And Iowa, it's not really a track I'm too familiar with, but I'm definitely looking forward to this. It reminds me, and a lot of people, of Richmond, a little bit bigger Richmond Raceway, and Richmond definitely is one of my favorite short tracks anyway to watch. So, Adam, like I said, you know, this does kind of remind a lot of people of Richmond. Kind of what's the difference here between Richmond and Iowa Speedway?
Well, first of all, I believe this has a lot older surface than Richmond does right now, and especially with the winners in Iowa, a lot harsher than the Virginia winners, so it takes a lot more aging throughout the seasons, and I'm not quite sure when the scan is, but it's aged pretty well since it has been built because of that. And this track's a little bit bigger than Richmond, like you mentioned, so it's kind of more suited for Xfinity cars or IndyCar open wheel cars. So these trucks are going to have a real hard time getting around this track. I feel the setup's really interesting tonight, the open setup between all the drivers. We saw that play an issue last race out at California, so hopefully it doesn't play too big of an issue tonight.
Just a little over 6 minutes left in practice. These guys, they've had 2 weeks to get prepared for this. You know, I think one thing that really surprises me is the fact that we see Alonso Chicano, who, by the way, is really good at Richmond, sitting P9 right now. Cameron Caldwell sitting P11. I believe we just saw Brett Bennett riding the wall on the backstretch. That is Brett Bennett. And anyway, Zach Probst sitting P1 on practice time. That surprises me. We know Zach is fast every single time he hits the track. And Zach Probst actually just won a Road to Pro race at Bristol a few nights ago. 2 nights ago, actually Thursday night. We know Probst is really good on short tracks. I'm surprised to see him sit P1 right now, though.
Yeah, it's good times for that peak performance motorsports teams. They're picking up wins in a lot of leagues across the board. They've had strong momentum here in this league. Not a lot of solid evidence in this league so far this season. Noah Mccurry won the last race in the championship in February for the winter season, but they haven't been able to turn that into anything yet this year. Unfortunately, Mccurry ranks 12th for them, their best driver, and they have long list of drivers, although many of them are just part-time contenders here in the series.
It'll be interesting to see if Peak Performance Motorsports is able to claim a win tonight. You see 3 different teams represented in the top 5, though, with, you know, again, Zach Probst, Peak Performance, Lester being a part of PBR, Dakota Knoll, Durant, both, I believe, a part of Radius, unless if Durant is one of the Vortex drivers. And Brad Bennett, part of Short Bus Long Distance. Making his season debut, winner of a couple of short tracks last season, Kyle Reuter. Good to see him back out on track racing in this series. Kyle Reuter actually won back-to-back, sorry Adam, but Kyle Reuter actually won back-to-back races both short track style races. So see how he's able to perform tonight.
Yeah, Josh, you mentioned what I was going to say. He won Indianapolis Raceway Park in Milwaukee, like I mentioned, 2 controversial races. He was the winner of those races. He was not part of the controversy. He was just right place, right time. Had a lot of success last year. He third in the championship. And like you mentioned, season debut, glad to see him back here in the series, but fortunately missed a couple races, quite a few races, 3 of them, so very hurt in the standings. We'll see if he'll be able to rebound and maybe take a playoff position here when it comes down to the end of the regular season, if he's able to continue making races.
See here, unfortunately, we do not have updated points for you guys to see at home, but currently Joseph Lester is the points leader in both rookie points and overall points. With his win, of course, at AutoClub, he leads Curfan by 3 points from Radius Racing. And Alonso Chicano as well, as Chicano and Curfan are tied in points. Another winner from the season, Michael Kruger, sits P4. 9 points out. And Cam Caldwell, 15 points out, sits 5th. Team points, Radius Racing has the top position with short bus long distance, 4 points behind. Vortex Racing, 9 points behind. And then talking about the peak performance guys, they are 79 points behind Vortex Racing, and they are 4th place. Just a little over a minute to go in practice. Adam, tell us, who is your pick to win tonight?
Well, we mentioned peak performance motorsports. I'll stick with the guy who did so dominant at Homestead Miami last season. He's been pretty solid this season, but he's had unfortunate mistakes throughout the races that have put him in just unfortunate spots finishing wise. He got a 4th place at Charlotte, though. That's his only highlight of the 3-race season. I'll go with him. He's up there in the speed charts, and I think he can get it done tonight.
Going with Noah Mccurry. I'm actually going to choose someone who is his teammate and sitting P1 on the board, as I also talked about winning Road to Pro race at Bristol 2 nights ago. We know he can get it done at short tracks. Zach Probst, I think, is going to be the winner tonight in his V-Speed Ford. Checkered flag is out on practice. Gonna see qualifying here. JCTV qualifying. And the first one out is actually going to be Brett Bennett.
3 races, 3 pole winners. Thinks that continues tonight, Josh?
I think we do see another pole winner tonight.
I agree.
Brett Bennett, he crosses the line, take his first lap. Off turn 4. Bennett has the top spot with a 23.362. Crosses the line. He did not improve. Actually,
Alexander did, but did not improve enough, I don't think.
Zach Probst now top spot, 23.293. See here, Jeremy Richmond, who's been pretty tough in his first couple races, taking his time.
2 for 2 on top 10 so far, Josh.
He's definitely a strong competitor, and don't doubt that it'll be any different tonight. Crosses the line for his first lap. It is going to be 7th on the board so far with a 23.432. And he only takes just one lap. Gamer Caldwell through 3 and 4. Caldwell's first lap was a 23.550. Crossing the line, he's gonna improve to 10th. A 23.434. Go to Knoll. Taking his first lap. In the wall. Michael Kruger sitting 13th so far. David Durant taking his first lap. Sorry, actually, David Durant is just getting on his first lap now. Through 3 and 4. Currently 14th, 23.577 for Durant. At the line, he goes to 7th, 23.408. Zach Probst still sitting atop the board. Nobody else on track, so I believe that is going to hand the pole to Zach Probst.
Would be Zach Probst's first career pole in this series, and first career pole for that team, I believe, in the Pits News Truck Series, Josh.
Take a look at the starting grid here. Martin starting grid. Starting on the pole is Zach Probst with Brett Bennett to his outside. David Rand, 3rd place. And Alexander Kerfan, P4. Starting 5th is going to be Wesley Rose. Adam?
Joseph Lester starts 6th alongside him. David Duran starts 7th next to Radius Racing driver Jason Gracias in the 1. Noah Mccurry starts in row 5 alongside Jeremy Richmond.
Cameron Caldwell will start from row 6 with Kyle Reuter to his outside. Leo Bonacasa in 13th, and Michael Kruger 14th. Lonzo Chicano will start 15th, the last one to actually take a time in qualifying.
Nick Dornick lines up 16th. William Martin behind him. Andrew Elias in 18th. Caleb Mccurry in 19th, and Dakota Noah rounds out the top 20.
And in row 11 is Dawson Allen and Tyler Watermolen. That is going to be your starting lineup of 22 trucks here for your Weekend Warrior 200. Well, Adam, your pick to win starts 9th. Mine starts 1st. I think Probst has proved that he really wants this win. Sweeping both practice and qualifying. 200 laps is the race distance. Got a couple of Fords starting out front.
We've had fresh faces up at the front all season long, and we got more starting there tonight. Expect a lot of comers and goers tonight with this starting grid looking like this as we get ready to start the final pace lap here, Josh.
2 pace laps here at Iowa, as it is a short track. So yeah, lights are out on that pace truck.
Do we expect the heavy hitter names to contend for stage points by lap 50, or think they're gonna have to struggle there in the back for a little while?
Yeah, I think we're gonna see drivers like Lester improve his position from 6th. Richmond definitely, I believe, will improve his position. 10th, Caldwell, Chicano from 11th and 15th. I believe we'll see them there 50 laps. It's not a whole lot of time, but I believe it's enough time to get up there. The pace truck is in pit road. Zach Probst gonna start the race here. And green flag is out. Great start out of Brett Bennett on that outside lane, but he bottomed the advantage here with Zach Probst. Actually, Probst got on the apron just a little bit. That's going to give Bennett a run down the backstretch. Bennett might have it by the end of turn 4. If he's able to make that outside line really work. Brett Bennett will lead the first lap.
And he's going to clear Probst by turn 2 there. So Brett Bennett clear to the lead on lap 2, Josh.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. It was a little mistake out of Zach Probst, but luckily he is still right there. P2, and now closing in on Brett Bennett. Really didn't let him get away. Now looking. But I believe Bennett's kind of committed to using that high line right now.
A lot of people are going to take notice in what Brett Bennett just did right there on that initial start and use it for every restart of this race later on if they have the chance with the choose cone tonight.
Yeah, we will see the choose cone come into play. As you mentioned. Great job, though, from Brett Bennett. Oh, Brett Bennett around!
Huge bobble off of turn 4, and he's going to save it. And we're going to stay under green because he lost it through the grass, but keeps it on the access road, Josh.
That was a great job not to destroy his truck there, keep it off the wall. And At first, I thought maybe he was going to get a penalty from iRacing for unsafe pit entry, but that wasn't pit road. That was just the access road, as you mentioned, Adam. So even shorter distance there, that with that wall there, what it would have had that wall not been there to try to save his truck. So great job. Unfortunately, that puts Brett all the way down to 20th place now, side by side with Caleb Mccurry, but he still has a clean truck because of amazing save.
Puts him from first all the way to fighting for last on the field, but like you mentioned, at least he's still got a truck in one piece, pretty much undamaged, I believe, just through that skid through the infield there. So pretty good recovery in terms of keeping it out of everything, like you mentioned. So he's gonna have a long night ahead of him now, though.
See here, Jason Gracias there battling with Lester, Durant, Reuter, and Mccurry, I believe. Oh, there's going to be contact between Reuter and the one of Gracias. Another great save not to have the 9 truck of Reuter go around. I thought for sure he was going to lose it.
Was an amazing save there on the entry to turn 3, and Gracias and Wesley Rose did just a great job, also not colliding into each other there. Here comes Michael Kruger into the fight on the outside there for a second. He's now peeking to the inside through 3 and 4. There's a big wash up there for Rauda. He is really slow through turn 3 and 4 there, Josh.
And they were 3 wide there for a moment. And as you said, Reuter washing up there. Another great job out of these drivers not to have an accident. Just look at all these trucks here.
Really early in this opening stage, just 2 stages tonight, and these guys are fighting for the final stage points, just 11 laps into this race.
So yeah, there are 40 laps to go before the stage break. Gracias finds a hole in between the 80 of Rose and the 9 of Reuter. Back underneath of Rose is the 1 truck of Gracias.
Bring up stage points because Noah Mayer was just ahead of these guys, and now he's gapped them just a bit because of that hard racing. Here comes Gracias underneath Wesley Rose with the 7th spot now. Let's see if he can get around him. With Kyle Rauda, he's back up here pressuring the 80 truck on the outside.
Gracias doing a great job holding it on the bottom. Rose doing a great job keeping it up top, really battling there. Gracias going to have to settle back in, but no, he stays right there on the bottom, side by side with the 80 of Rose.
See how much of a beating the driver takes around this track with how bumpy it is. Especially on the bottom, I believe it's more bumpy down there than the outside lanes.
Jason Gracias had to get out of the gas there, you heard. So that he didn't come up into Wesley Rose, who was on the outside. Look back here. 63 and Nick Dornick leading this pack of drivers. William Martin a little loose there. Finds his way in behind the number 44 of Andrew Elias. Nick Dornick, he He is the Weekend Warrior, streamer on Twitch. Find him on twitch.tv/yourweekendwarrior. I don't believe he's streaming tonight, but he does stream quite a bit over there on twitch.tv. Good to see Nick Dornick. I believe this is his first start of the season. He's been in the process of moving across Canada, going from east side of Canada to the west side. So not been able to race, but here he is tonight. Currently P16. Good to see him back. Oh, Andrew Elias hardened the wall.
Keeps it going straight, but you see the right side torn up completely on that 44 truck. Down to 21st with that right side damage, and it's probably only going to get worse. He's going to probably lose that position to Tyler Watermoreland shortly, and he might have to pitch sooner than others with that truck beat up like that, Josh.
Yeah, he has right side damage. You see his truck there. Heavy right side damage. Tyler Watermoreland almost into the wall behind. I believe Tyler was able to keep it off the wall.
Big moment there for 55 truck of William Martin, it looked like. And he's coming down to pit road. He had a huge moment. He was high through 3 and 4, and he must have checked up really big there to make it to pit road.
It's unfortunate for William Martin, his 55 machine.
11th place finishes in the last 2 races, his lone 2 career starts in the series, but loses lap here early tonight. Battle for the lead up front between Zach Probst and Alexander Kerfen, but Probst using that top side still.
And Kerfen, he settles back about a truck length behind Probst. Probst goes to the bottom. Kerfen uses that second line. Probst off the bottom a little bit early. But Kerfen isn't there anymore like he was just a lap ago.
Don't look out now, but Justin Durant in the 20 truck, he's closing down slowly on these guys. He's running in 3rd. If he can keep a clean race tonight, he's going to have a really good shot competing for this win, I think, Josh.
Justin Durant, we've seen he is really good at the short track races. So, yeah, I believe Durant, he's going to get up there. Just matter of win. As long as these guys keep battling, it might be sooner rather than later. Kerfen, he's just kind of stalking Probst at the moment. They're running the same line all the way up against that wall. It's not something that you would... Sorry for cutting you off there, Adam. That's not really something you'd think you would see at short tracks, is wall riding. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, I think that's just going to become more and more important as the tires wear out, and they're just going to find more and more grip up towards that wall, kind of like Homestead Miami races. That's just how this track plays out, and it's kind of just an outlier, like you mentioned, as a short track. Just it races that way, where you need to race the entire track where to find grip. It's not just one lane around the bottom or one lane around the top, and you just keep it there. You have to fight for it. You see the 30 finding it in the middle, and the 62 almost going too high there for a second through 3 and 4.
Towards the back. Let's try that again. Towards for 3rd place. Durant, he's got company. Joseph Lester and Jason Gracias. Lester running all the way at the apron. And Justin Durant against the wall there. Jason Gracias just behind. And David Durant brother of Justin. Not too far behind either. Lester, he takes over the third spot, though. Now Lester, he has his sights set on the 2 leaders. But it's not over. Jason Gracias looking hard underneath the 20. Go back up to the lead. Kerfan was right there looking underneath Zach Probst. Had to settle in once again just behind Probst.
Now Kerfan's running a lot higher line though through 1 and 2 than Probst is. Probst really hasn't been running that far up there through 1 and 2. He's been more using that top groove through this corner like he is right now.
Just look at behind these 2 drivers how quickly Lester is catching. He is lead 2. Been the fastest truck last 2 trips around by 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, it's impressive for this point leader. He, like you mentioned, he started a little farther back. I believe it was 6th position, so he's clawed through this top 5. And as soon as he got around that 20 truck of Justin Durant, he has been on a tail, like you mentioned, running these fast laps. So he's going to run these guys down probably by the end of the stage. So it probably will be a 3 truck race, if not 4 truck battle for the stage win here, if he can bring Jason Gracias with him.
Riding on board with Joseph Lester. It's just absolutely insane how quickly he's catching them. Running a high line.
You can see how good his truck must be handling or how happy it is with it handling, because he's able to run a lower line in the dirty air and just use so much clean air through the corners because of that. He doesn't need the grip in the high line because he's got the clean air on all dumping on that front of that Toyota.
You see there, it is 3 truck battle for the lead now. Jason Gracias not too far behind. Lester diving it into the bottom. He's going to clear Kerfan right on the bumper of Probst now.
How about this kid? Won California last time out to the lead, but Probst is going to pull off a crossover down the front stretch. They're side by side into turn 1.
A great crossover move by Probst. Probst not able to get the power down off turn 2. Lester, he's going to take the lead by a strong command. Now 3 truck lengths out front over Zach Probst in the 62.
Jason Gracias and Kerfan fighting for 3rd. Kerfan's going to keep it for the moment, but Gracias looks a lot stronger on the bottom through this end of the track. He's going to clear him now, and he's going to keep it, but Kerfan's going to look to the inside, almost contact between those 2 down the back, Josh. While Joseph Lester continues to pull away from this 62 truck, or at least tries to.
Jason Gracias doing a great job looking underneath. 62 is going to have to tuck in. We'll see here. They are side by side. He's the one in the 62. Gracias Probst. Probst prevails. A little bit of connection issues there we see. Gracias. Still side by side with Probst.
Now they've fallen a second down to the race leader, Joseph Lester, because of this battle. Gracias is gonna not like that if he can clear the 62 truck. Sooner the better, obviously.
Look at Kerfan. He's kind of fading behind. Not really catching back up to this battle. This is everything that Lester is loving to see in his mirror, though. That stage, it's coming up. Just a few short laps. Gracias finally able to clear Probst. Probst looking for the crossover. Back underneath Gracias.
No, I think Gracias is right where he's want to be, though. He's got that outside lane, so he's going to carry that momentum through turn 4, down that curved front straightaway, and clear the 62 truck yet again. Now Probst can't really fight back on the bottom. Gracias is going to block that lane to make sure he doesn't.
Gracias, he was doing a great job keeping pace with Joseph Lester. Before Lester was able to get by the 62 and the 30. See if Gracias is able to close back in on Joseph Lester. Challenge for this stage, but there's only 5 laps left till the stage at the line.
Mentioned at the top of the race how much this track kind of races and, well, at least looks like Richmond. Jason Gracias dominated that race in the winter season. I believe he led well over 100 laps in that race, his first career win in the series, so no surprise to see him up front at a track very similar, like we mentioned, like Richmond here at Iowa.
You see driver the number 20, Justin Durant, currently P5. He was up there and just kind of fell back, and he's got his brother behind him and David Durant battling with Leo Bonacasa. Side by side, real tight. David Durant.
Stage points here in a couple laps.
Yeah, this is battle for the last stage point. And Leo Bonacasa. Wow, that was close. If they keep it up, neither one of them may get points. Alonzo Chicano, he's not too far back.
I was just going to mention Alonzo Chicano a couple laps ago. He was running 14th, 15th with Cam Caldwell this entire stage. Look up, he's running 8th. Where'd he come from? Now he's running stage points here. I think he's going to run out of laps, though, to get up to that 6th position. Oh, David Durant might have got the wall there. He was really close to it through turn number 3 as they take the final lap of the stage.
Yeah, final lap of the stage is here. Leo Bonacasa has it. Alonzo Chicano side by side with the 24. We go back up front through 3 and 4. Joseph Lester is going to be able to hold off the 1 of Jason Gracias, who is hard charging there. And Leo Bonacasa will get the final stage position. So Joseph Lester is your stage winner here in the Your Weekend Warrior 200 at Iowa Speedway. Great job out of Lester, who started P6. Jason Gracias started P8, finished 2nd. Zach Probst fell from the lead down to 3rd place. Alexander Kerfan finished 4th. Justin Durant finished 5th. And Leo Bonacasa takes the final stage position in 6th place. Pit road is open.
First career win for the stage, excuse me, Josh, for the point leader. He's going to lead the entire field down pit road. They're all going to love some new, fresh tires.
Right side goes up on number 4 machine. See here on pit exit. It is going to be close, but Gracias got it over Lester.
Very close race.
Lester might have gotten it.
Yeah, looks like he's back around and, catching that pace car, so very close race though off that curved pit exit. Very competitive race there off pit road, especially with Zach Probst there with the #1 pit stop playing a factor there just a bit, kind of being in the way of Lester just a little bit there. Well, Gracias, excuse me, coming around him.
Let's go ahead and bring in our stage winner, Joseph Lester. It is Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
You've definitely not slowed down from AutoClub. Started P6 tonight. You had a hard charge from Jason Gracias behind, but ultimately won the stage. 50 laps down. What's it going to take for you to hold on to this thing for another 150?
Yeah, I saw Tyler in front of me, and I told him I'd just keep him in front of me and won't lap him. That's why he was closing in on me at the end. But just do what I did in the first stage: save tires early and try to get back up front if they pass me.
This is the first short track of the season, and we have not had any cautions for incidents. This is the first caution. Is that a little bit of a surprise that this thing has gone green so far?
No, not really. I've done some practice this week, and the car's really stable, and plus it's more of an intermediate than a road or a short track. But it should be fun. I think we got 2 stops this stage.
All right, well, we'll let you get back up in there with your teammates. Maybe we'll talk to you a little bit later.
Yep, see ya.
And that was Joseph Lester. So we're trying to get him back up with his teammates. Here we go.
Heard it there from him. Expect 2 pit stops here on this last stage. About 144 laps to go, I believe, when we go green.
That was the choose right there, and we saw Lester choose the high line, as well as Gracias. Probst chose the bottom.
Saw Probst take the lead on the initial start from the bottom, or lose the lead, excuse me, from the bottom on the initial start to Brett Bennett. So he's gonna take his chances down there again and gain a spot on Gracias, but at least fight for that spot on the first row. And look at Alonso Giacano, big jump up to 4th. I believe it was
7th place.
7th place, yeah. I was gonna say 8th spot, but yeah, 7th. Huge jump for him there.
Pace truck is in. Control truck is the 4 on that outside. He gets going. Joseph Lester. Big restart there. Now Probst, he's going to have battle from Jason Gracias. I think Probst once again got that apron. Slow him down just a little bit. Gracias going to prevail. Gracias, huge run on that outside.
That one truck had a ton of momentum, and he's going to keep it carrying on the outside lane, running a lane higher than the 62 truck. Almost caught that 4 truck almost caught the wall there off of 4. And he's going to go right to the lead, I believe, Josh, into turn 1.
And Jason Gracias does take the lead. Huge gain, and still pulling away from the 4. And everybody else is Gracias. 3 wide behind.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's a little bit faster than Joseph Lester at the moment, but he's just kind of holding his own, and no one can get around him. Saw Zach Probst wash up really big behind him, and huge moment there off of turn 2. He's gonna save it. They're gonna wad up behind him just a little bit. Probst has to lift again because of him, and he's losing more positions.
Here comes Michael Kruger having himself a day. Start at P14, currently up to P6. P4 rather. It's Kruger. Great job out of that 42 truck.
What a strong season he's been having, and you mentioned it, he's been nowhere tonight. He's been non-factor in practice, qualifying, and the opening stage, but here he is in the top 5.
David Durant just came down pit road. He's got a lot of damage on his truck.
It's very unfortunate for him. That's just been his trend recently. We see another truck coming down pit road.
Leo Bonacasa.
From the top 10, I believe he was running. Just another truck running very well tonight in the opening stage.
Oh, I see damage on that left side, that driver's side, barely. From this angle. Not sure if we can get a good view of it, but he does have some damage on that driver's side.
Alonzo Chicano up to second.
Yeah.
Really prevailing with that choose cone position, Josh.
Yeah, and I'm surprised right here. After seeing Chicano qualify 15th, and I know you can never count out Chicano. I know that he can race anywhere you put him on a track and give him any type of vehicle, 4 wheels, he'll drive it. After seeing him qualify 15th, I wasn't so sure that he was one to completely watch out for. I figured he'd be up there towards the end. What I said, I think he'd be up there to get some stage points. He was pretty close. Did restart in the 3rd position from the choose cone. Currently P2, so I had my doubts, but Chicano once again proven he belongs right up here. Look at just behind Nick Dornick, battling the 62, Zach Probst. Saw Dornick in the back earlier in the race, qualified P18, P16 that is. Andrew Elias started 18, so Nick Dornick P16, currently P6. Gain of 10 positions for Weekend Warrior.
Yeah, I noticed his big advantage was pit road. He gained a bunch of spots leaving pit road. Jumped 3 or 4 spots, I believe. And he's took advantage of the choose cone yet again, like his teammate Alonso Chicano did. So, very good showing for him, like you mentioned. He finished 12th in his only race of the season at Daytona last month.
Michael Kruger, Daytona winner. P4, finished P2 2 weeks ago at AutoClub. Kruger, he is having himself a great season so far.
Absolutely, Josh. 4th in the standings, 4th on the track right now. And like we mentioned, kind of nowhere start the race, start the weekend, and here he is. He's not going to have a big jump to the points, obviously, with the way everyone's running, but very, very strong effort tonight, if you can keep it here.
He has Zach Probst behind him. Pole sitter, we knew Probst was going to be strong after his qualifying efforts and sitting atop practice charts as well. So Michael Kruger sitting in front of Probst, doing a great job, just kind of holding his own. New paint scheme for that 42 as well. I actually was talking with Wesley Rose. I believe it was yesterday, and Rose told me that both him and Kruger were going to have new paint schemes to WU. Both of them driving a very similar paint scheme. Let's see here. Wesley Rose, who is not on the track. Two drivers had new paint schemes. Side by side, just behind Nick Dornick, looking underneath, 62. Probst able to prevail on that outside. Well, Adam, I think it is time to turn it up. See there, Nick Dornick getting around Michael Kruger on the outside. That puts Dornick up to the 4th spot. Zach Probst, Joseph Lester, they're falling on the outside as well. Joseph Lester, he was trying to get to the outside. He decided he didn't want the outside. He wanted the inside. Lester dove down to the inside. And they're going to make contact. Lester might lose another position here to Michael Kruger, who's running that outside lane. Lester doing a great job, though. He's able to hold on to it. Kruger, big run using that outside line. He's going to have to kind of get off the gas a little bit. He stays behind the 4, does Kruger to Lester. Now Lester starting to pull back. Prevailing using that outside line. Looking at the outside. Probst, who actually dove it into 3. And now Lester's going to have a run. Side by side with Probst.
It was only a matter of time until they made contact, Josh, and it's probably not over yet as they continue to race for these top 10 positions and dice down the track. Here comes Lester to the inside of Probst into turn 3 and 4. Almost 3 wide there, the lane Probst is running on the inside of Dornick there. He's got momentum carrying to that back bumper of Nick Dornick. He's going to look to that left side tailgate of the 63 truck. Now he's racing him for 4th.
Still looking to the inside, wasn't quite there yet. Dornick with the preferred lane on that outside, but Probst doing a great job on that inside lane. Dornick with the advantage. See here, Probst able to make any sort of move like what we saw earlier with Joseph Lester. They're going to be 3 wide off turn 2. Lester on the bottom, Probst in the middle, Dornick on that outside.
This truck is not carrying that speed he needs it to on that top side because these guys are just bullying him on that bottom side, and we know how good that 4 truck is running that bottom. He's taking advantage of it, trying to get around them both. He might right here through 1 and 2. He's got a huge run there through the center of the corner.
Still 3 wide. They've been 3 wide for a whole lap, Adam. I'm kind of surprised about this. Lester, he's strong on exit, but with Probst right there, not able to get the power down. This is hurting the 62 and the 4, but the 63 of Dornick isn't able to really prevail.
Here comes Michael Kruger to complicate things even more, and Justin Durant. Now, Lester gets clear for a moment of Probst, but Probst sticks his nose back in there into 3.
Still 3 wide off of turn 4. Kruger, he's looking at this, and he doesn't want any a part of it. He's just hoping that if they wreck, he's not in it. Lester finally clears the 62. Lester's gonna kind of slide up in front of this 63 Dornick, who I believe gets into the wall there. Probst, he follows in behind Lester. They're both gonna get around the 63, I think. Not quite, as Dornick power strong in the outside line. Now Probst has pressure from that 42 of Kruger.
Five trucks racing really hard for 4th position, Josh, here at Iowa. Not even halfway in this race yet, and they are battling like this. 63 truck is going to keep using that top line and continue to fight off these huge runs from the 42 truck and 62 of Zach Probst, who's now fading just a little bit there on the bottom, Josh.
Adam, you know why I love this series? It's just, I was not expecting this kind of racing at Iowa. We see racing like this consistently at the 1.5 miles, or the speedways rather, as AutoClub is at 1.5 miles, but all the speedways, we see close, packed, tight racing like this. I didn't expect to see it tonight at Iowa. These drivers, they are so talented that we've only had 1 caution, which is for the stage. These drivers, they are still going at it. They've been under green flag conditions for a little under 40 laps, and they're doing an incredible job putting on a great show. I absolutely love this series, and it's not just because I'm in the booth calling it. It's just, this is so fun to watch, and it keeps it exciting week in and week out.
Yeah, you mentioned that it is like this almost every week where we see stuff like this happen, and we see these long runs and we see everything just kind of play its course naturally throughout the races.
Nick Dornick still holding strong, sitting in 5th place, and you know, for a driver like Nick Dornick to take some weeks off, again because he was moving, and then to come back in, qualified 16th, worked his way up here to 5th place. It just tells you the amount of talent that these guys have, especially for Dornick. You know, again, he's not raced since Daytona. He had select races last season. He gets into the wall a little bit there. But for him to come back in and be competing with these guys, that just shows you the amount of talent each one of these guys has.
Yeah, and he kind of showed up with very little practice here. I don't know how much testing he did, but not much, I would have to assume, getting off his equipment set up here in the last couple of days and his internet connection. And he took no laps in practice. He didn't take a qualifying lap. And like you mentioned, started out back. And here he is competing for a top 5 spot right now. He's under threat, like you mentioned, from Michael Kruger. But he's held well since that stage ended inside the top 10 steadily right now.
You know, as somebody who's been on iRacing since 2016, that being myself, I'll be honest, I have hopped into races where I've had no practice before. I've never, you know, I've had laps at this, you know, tracks before, but not that particular time around going into a place. And for Nick Dornick, like you mentioned, didn't take any practice laps. I think when it comes into a situation like this, you go into the race where you think, I'm just going to have a steady race. I'm just going to try to keep my truck clean. I'm not going to push. I'm going to let the truck come to me or the car come to me, and we'll see where we go from there. And I've had some good finishes like that just by, you know, seeing how it's going to play out. It's not the best way to go into a race. I'm not saying to do that, because iRacing is very challenging anyway. But Nick Dornick sitting 5th place. We're crossing the halfway line.
Absolutely not a position I would have expected, like we mentioned, with his very little practice tonight and his starting spot.
Battle behind Justin Durant. Look at the inside of Kruger. And Justin is going to clear Michael Kruger. Kruger looking to the bottom. He's got Zach Probst right behind him. Kruger, a little bobble off turn 2. It's going to help out Probst. Probst not able to clear Kruger. Kruger running strong on that outside line.
Justin Durant's going to carry that momentum and try to get inside that 63 truck here. He seems to be faster than Dornick at this stage in the run. And we saw how fast he was towards the end of the opening stage. Here he is running that inside lane. I don't think that's where he wants to be, but that's going to be where he has to be to pass that 63, who's been hogging that outside lane, as we've seen, since the pit stops.
And speaking of pit stops, we got our first taker right here, Cameron Caldwell. Not running the greatest. He comes in early, and I think this is just him trying to try a short pit strategy, kind of undercut some of these guys, and see if he can gain a few positions. So Caldwell, first one in, and he exits cleanly. Chicano might have caught the wall a little bit off turn 2. We saw there
the only threat with what, excuse me, is he's lost 2 laps to the leader, so he could be in a very, very bad spot if a caution comes out here at the wrong time. He is right behind Gracia, so he could gain one of them up here really quick, but he's got to be lucky on the timing if there is a yellow.
That is one of the scariest things, is short pitting at a short track like this. He is going to get around Gracias, does Caldwell. So Caldwell is 1 lap down now, sitting P14. Still no other takers on pit road. But this could set Caldwell in a pretty good position later on in the race.
pit strategy pretty much dictated the outcome at Charlotte a couple races back, so if it goes green all the way to the end, we know it's going to be a huge factor with the tire wear. And like what Joseph Lester mentioned when we spoke to him, said tire saving is going to be a huge role early on in the runs.
Speaking of Lester, he is catching Alexander Kerfan. And these two are the point leaders. Lester being the leader, Kerfan P2. Joseph Lester, of course, winning the stage is going to help out his point situation. To extend it over Kerfan, that is. Curious to know when these top drivers in the top 5 are going to come down pit road. Who's going to come first? We see Chicano's just under 2.5 seconds behind Gracias. Who's going to make the jump first, Adam?
I'm not quite sure. I believe Chicano would want to be one of the first ones to do it. He did last race at California because he got kind of hosed over in Charlotte. He lost the race because of a poor pit strategy. He was the leader. He pitted last. He went really late, so put himself out of contention because of that. So he's running second, like you mentioned. I think he is definitely going to want to pit way before Gracias. So at least he has a tire advantage on the short run, especially if we have to pit twice. That's going to be very crucial twice to do it. He could do it off sequence once, but that might be risky, like we mentioned with Caldwell's strategy.
Chicano currently behind Dawson Allen in the 79. Dawson is 1 lap down. We do have our second taker. It is Dakota Knoll in the 5.
Allen to the lead lap, running just outside the top 10, so running about the same position Caldwell was when he hopped down pit lane.
Dakota Knoll, 4 tires, gas, and he gets off. A little bit of right side damage for 5 truck there. Nothing too much to be worried about. Dakota Knoll off and away.
See those fresh tires go to work immediately on this worn out surface. Just takes the grip right to the bottom and goes right by that 79 truck of Dawson Allen. And now Alonso Chicano running P2.
See here, it has been 63 laps since last time everybody in the top 10 came down pit road. 61 laps for Caleb Mccurry. So these guys, they are out there on older tires, really sliding around a little bit, you'd expect, especially on this older surface, as Adam was talking about earlier in the pre-show.
Yeah, back again to when we talked to Joseph, he said it was going to be probably a 2-stopper, so that would, I put them on 5-lap stint to make it to the end, but that's only 1 pit stop, I believe, Josh. So unless they take a really short stint to the end, I think Nick Dornick caught the wall there off of 2. Racing Zach Topes there for that position. As we see Cam Caldwell and fresh tires catch these guys, he might unlap himself just off of pure speed if these guys stay out much longer.
Yeah, Caldwell, he's got half a track away, or sorry, he is half a track away from the 1 truck of Gracias already in just the 15 or so laps that Caldwell's been out there on his fresher tires.
It's been less than that since he got around Gracias too, I believe.
Put this into perspective here. Dakota Knoll, who we saw just pit 7 laps ago, his last lap was a 23.778. Jason Gracias was a 24.955. That is 1.2 seconds of a difference. We have another taker down pit road. It is 42, Michael Kruger. Kruger off pit road and away.
See that battle for third. It's been taken over by Joseph Lester, who's gone around Coffin. Now 5 seconds behind the race leaders, though.
And it's 2 seconds behind Chicano. Gracias still doing a great job controlling this race. As you mentioned, he won Richmond in the winter season. Absolutely dominating fashion. Gracias started 8th place here tonight. It's been as low as 9th and as high as 1st. He's been having himself a great race here tonight. I think it's safe to say Jason Gracias, he really loves these short tracks.
And the worn-out tracks, too. Got the pole at Homestead, Miami to finish the season and finish second in that season-ending race. We see the 30 truck from 4th place peels on to pit road after losing that fight with Lester.
So here is the answer to my question I asked you earlier, was which of the top 5 was going to come down pit road first. We thought it might have been Chicano, but it is Curfan. So now that the first move has been made, who makes the next move? Jeremy Richmond also coming down pit road.
And the timing for Curfan to pit, though, just made sense. He just lost that spot to Lester. He is losing time. You're not going to catch Gracias, obviously, so... And you're not going to beat him running long, so you have to short pit him.
Justin Durant coming down pit road. And race leader, Jason Gracias down pit road.
And Alonso's going to stay out, so we'll see how long he takes it. Hopefully he doesn't take it as long as he did at Charlotte, like we mentioned before.
Interesting enough, 4 of Lester is catching the 25 of Chicano. Brett Bennett down pit road. Here is Joseph Lester. You see that white truck ahead, maybe a little bit squirrely on the backstretch. That is race leader Alonso Chicano. Joseph Lester, he is catching. Nick Dornick down pit road.
Well, these guys are staying out on the racetrack this long. You see just how crazy the guys are, much faster. They just blow right by, and that's really the worst when the truck's handling, obviously, with the tire wheel gone completely, and sketchiest part of the race.
Alonso Chicano, he's got Jeremy Richmond behind, not for position. Richmond has already came down pit road. 2 laps down. Goes to 1 lap down with that pass on Chicano. And Lester down pit road now. So right now it's only Probst and Chicano that have yet to come down pit road out of those leaders. See here, you see Lester in his pit. Here comes Jason Gracias. This is the difference right there.
And you see Cameron Caldwell is right behind Jason Gracias, who pitted, what, 20 laps difference from that one truck, if not more? So they might be on completely different pit strategies, but you see the net gain for Caldwell, who is way back before the pit stops, as Chicano finally ducks down pit road.
As well as Dawson Allen in the back.
Zach Probst is going to continue to stay out. He takes over the lead out front over Caleb Mccurry now on the lead lap.
And there's the difference between Gracias and Chicano. Chicano just now leaving pit road. .83 laps to go is when Zach Probst last came down pit road. 81 laps to go for Caleb Mccurry. Probst, he is looking. Probst does come down pit road, so this will present the lead to Gracias once Gracias comes around, who is exiting turn 4 right now. And Cameron Caldwell will be P4 once this is finished cycling through, so great gain out of Caldwell. But he is on older tires, so you're going to see the likes of Noel and Chicano, Lester, Durant all catch Caldwell. But hey, if Caldwell gets caution here, he may be sitting in a pretty good position.
Yeah, we just saw these guys go 70, 80 laps without pitting. I wonder if those guys are going to try and stretch it on one more without pitting, you know, at all for the rest of the race, while Caldwell is opting to do a 2-stopper.
I'm curious to know how well it's going to work for Caldwell. If this does stay green, 62 laps to go, and we've only had 1 caution, which was for that stage.
Worked out very well for him the first time around. He jumped probably, what, 10 spots? So if it continues trending the race this way, it could be huge net gain for him.
No Mccurry down pit road.
Yeah, that 8 truck's had a rough night. He's down several laps, now 9 laps down. He's been 7 or 8 or so for quite a while now, so very unfortunate, rough ending to his night, and misses his pit stall out, so just shows how unfortunate it's been for him tonight. An hour out of the game he is right now, unfortunately. Just a rough night like that.
Caleb Mccurry also down pit road. This will be Mccurry's first pit stop since going green. So Mccurry staying out as late as he possibly can. Was already lapped down, I believe. Alexander Kerfan. He was early pitter, and see how well that helped him over Chicano and Lester, who is back in 5th place, currently in a battle with Caldwell. Easily able to get around Caldwell, and Dakota Knoll right there and just behind. Lester up to P4. He's got a 2-second gap between himself and Chicano. But Chicano, he's the fastest truck on the track right now.
Yeah, one of those late pitters. He's really going to be probably hitting his prime in lap times right about now, so he's going to be trying to run down that 30 truck. But like you mentioned, that 4 truck's in his mirror. He's been one of the fastest trucks all night tonight, as we've seen, and we just saw him blow by those 2 trucks, Caldwell and Knoll. We're on different pit strategies, so he's going to be trying to catch that 25. He's already down quite a few tenths on that 25 truck ahead of him.
Back here, Dakota Knoll still not around Caldwell. Kind of surprised about that. Knoll does have some damage to his truck, but I don't think it would really affect his truck that much. Maybe a little bit of hood damage on the right side of his truck. We did see damage all down the right side when he came down pit road. Might be able to see it. Yeah, there it is. But I do see a little bit of damage on his hood. So actually, that might be the cause of the reason why he's not able to get around Cameron Caldwell just ahead. Dawson Allen is in the picture, 2 laps down, so this is not battle for position, but Justin Durant right there in that 20 truck, he is for position. So Durant is going to be able to get around the 5 Dakota Knoll. And right there has his sights set on that 12.
Yeah, 2 teammates racing their team owner, who's on another team, albeit aligned. They're racing pretty rough right now for this top 5 position, Josh. And well, I thought Justin was going to clear Cam there, but Caldwell putting up a huge fight on that top lane.
And Caldwell is doing a great job. Oh! A little slow there on exit of 2.
Wow, big moment, like you mentioned.
Caldwell, he's coming down pit road.
Yeah, that was 50 laps, so he is doing a 2-stop, a 50-lap stint, while everyone else is doing 70 to 85 lap runs, Josh.
This is very interesting. Caldwell will go 1 lap down here.
I believe he pitted the first time this stage on lap 100, so now lap 152. Now he's going to try and take it to the end. I think everyone else, I would assume, is done pitting, but they have plenty of tires in the pits, you know, to come down and take them. And if we have cautions, I'm sure they'll take them. Guarantee they'll take them, actually.
So Caldwell just went a 2nd lap down. Off pit road. Gracias is in the middle of 3 and 4. Caldwell entering turn 3. Not too far of a difference between Caldwell and Gracias. We'll see how long it takes for Caldwell to get up there to Gracias to get one of his laps back. Meanwhile, Gracias is behind a couple of slower guys in the likes of Caleb Mccurry, and surprisingly, just ahead of Mccurry is Zach Probst, pole winner.
Yeah, he's not running too bad. He's running 9th place, but just the green flag run has put a lot of people a lap down. Jason Gracias has, just like he did at Richmond. He's just bled through the lead lap runners, there, and just 9 lead lap trucks, like you mentioned, posted are the last one of them.
I don't know if this is, a position where Probst wants to be in. Of course, sitting P9, not bad out of the 22 truck grid or the field, but about to be a lap down to Gracias. It's crazy to think that someone who dominated the first stage, of course, one practice, one pole, sitting here about to be lapped and sitting P9.
This really goes to show you need the long run pace here with the tire fall off and the long run momentum. And we saw Jason Gracias have that at Richmond. We saw him have that for the most part at Miami to finish P2. And here he is again, like we mentioned earlier. And here's Cam Caldwell trying to run him down, clean track ahead of him for now.
Here is the difference. That truck just ahead of Caldwell is Gracias. And there, Gracias could try to hold Caldwell off, but with the difference in tires, it's not really going to matter too much. Caldwell will get away or get around Gracias one way or another. You see Gracias, a little bit of older tires, slipping up just a little bit earlier than Caldwell. Caldwell stays on the bottom. That helps him get around right here. Already clear and pulling 2 truck lengths away from the one of Jason Gracias. So 1 lap down is Cameron Caldwell. He's got 41 laps to see what he can do with his tires.
He can do it, especially if these guys don't pit and don't try to undercut themselves, you know. But it'll be a very interesting run here if he can do it with all the lap traffic in the way. Gained, what, 10 spots last time, so he could do it theoretically.
And that is a position right there for Caldwell, as Caleb Mccurry is also 1 lap down. So Caldwell P12, getting around Probst is not for position.
As we watched Caldwell get around Gracias, I noticed on the timing that Chicano and Kurfin were pretty close together, but now they've separated by a couple seconds yet again. So Chicano trying to keep at bay Kurfin right now, who is now fighting with Joseph Lester for third, it looks like.
They got a Nick Dornick right there. And that's kind of a surprise for Nick Dornick, sitting P11. He was running up there with the sitting around the top 5, but P11 due to pit strategy. But yeah, as you see there, Lester was able to get around Kurfan before that first pit sequence there. Kurfan came down pit road immediately following Lester passing Kurfan. So we see there the fresher tires just kind of prevailing for Lester. There's not a truck between Lester and Chicano. The difference is about 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds rather. So clean track ahead. Right now, Jason Gracias is at the line now. See there, Lester was just entering turn 3. Chicano at the line now. So that is the difference. Jason Gracias dealing with lap traffic. Michael Kruger, who is coming down to pit road, as well as Jeremy Richmond in the 98. So a couple of other guys trying that 2-stop strategy. I'm not sure, with 34 laps remaining.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot less time to play with Josh. Especially with the disadvantage they were already at compared to the field, time-wise. This might put them 3 laps down, honestly. and compared to the leader. So this might be just try to gain extra positions. I don't think it's going for the win. I think it's too big of a swing, you know, this late in the race.
Kruger and Richmond are rolling, both 2 laps down, but now it is half a track length of a difference between the 2 drivers. The 3 drivers, rather. Jeremy Richmond and Michael Kruger from the leader, Jason Gracias, we see here on screen, behind Zach Probst. See Jason Gracias, he's not really able to close in on Probst. And I'm curious to know, how much is that affecting Gracias with dirty air?
Probably quite a bit, honestly, because he is a fast truck, like we mentioned, Zach Probst is. Compared to the rest of the field, as he has a big moment there, actually, who's now holding up Gracias a lot. But I don't know. I think before that big moment, not too bad. But as he gets closer, it gets harder and harder to close in with that bubble of air.
Yeah, interesting to note, Lester was the fastest out of the top 3. Both ran all 3 of them ran a 24.7 rather. 7.8 for Gracias, 7.9 for Alonso, and a 7.2 for Joseph Lester. That time, Chicano was faster than the 3. We have another driver on pit road. It is going to be the 44 of Andrew Elias. Currently sitting P4, 3 laps down. Not the night he's wanted to have. Alonso Chicano riding behind the 47 of Brett Bennett. And Brett Bennett might be holding Chicano up just a little bit. Bennett running the outside lane, Chicano the inside. Lester 2.5 seconds behind Chicano. Lester's got clean air in front of him. Michael Kruger right behind the 4. We saw Kruger come down pit road, so Kruger does have pressure tires. Lester pulls to the side to allow teammate Michael Kruger to get through. Cameron Caldwell on that strategy. Currently P10. Caldwell, he's not really gained a whole lot since getting by Jason Gracias. See Caldwell at the line. And Jason Gracias just now getting at the line. Andrew Elias, saw him take some fresher tires. Just a couple laps to go. Going to be side by side with Jason Gracias, who has gotten past Zach Probst.
Yeah, it's not looking like it's going to play out the way Caldwell envisioned with this strategy. Gracias is just running away with it still. Chicano was closing. He is starting to again, but he lost a ton of time racing Brett Bennett, like you mentioned. Now he's past that 47 truck, I believe. So he is trying to close back down that race leader. We'll see if he's going to be able to knock off that 5 seconds. That's a tall task with this few laps to go, especially with how dominant of a truck that one has been tonight.
Yeah, I don't think Chicano's going to be able to catch Gracias. I've seen stranger things happen, but 22 laps to go. I'm not so sure Chicano's going to have what it takes. Chicano, he may rather have company out of the 4 truck. He is 2 seconds back. But Joseph Lester does have to get around Brett Bennett, and if Brett puts up any kind of fight for Lester, like Brett Bennett did for Chicano, not so sure Lester will be able to get up to Chicano. We know there's been some issues in the past between Brett Bennett and Alonso Chicano, so it may have just been Brett Bennett holding Chicano up in general, but won't necessarily do that with Joseph Lester in 4.
Bennett racing in the 8th position still, but good recovery after leading the early laps from the outside pole position. Spun very early, or half spun off a turn 4 very early in the race. On P8, but of course a lap down, just the way the attrition's gone and the pit strategies have been tonight with the cautionless race so far, excluding the stage, of course.
Yeah, I don't believe that we have had a caution-free race in the Unofficial Truck Series for an incident, or where we've not had an incident that's brought out a caution. Of course, as you just mentioned, going under yellow because of the stage. So I believe if this race goes green the rest of the way, 17 laps to go, this will be the first race that there's not been a caution for incident. Lester has caught Brett Bennett. Both ran the high line, and the entry, Lester dove down into the inside, really tight on exit. Lester wasn't having any of it, and just kind of shoved his way through without making contact. Alonso Chicano 1.5 seconds ahead of Lester now. 15 laps to go.
Lester making a bit of inroads on that 25 truck, who is losing more time to Gracias, who's, like we mentioned, putting on a clinic up front. This 4 truck obviously pulled away from Kofan and made him quick work, and he is way gone from that 30 machine. And then you see the gap from Lester to Chicano. Mccurry, I believe, to the inside of Chicano, going second lap down to that truck. And he's going to be in between these two for the moment here.
Mccurry is a teammate of Joseph Lester. Don't expect Mccurry to hold Lester up here. You see Lester, he is closing fast. Fastest truck on track right now.
Just about a second between the two now, Josh, excuse me. Was about 2.5 before just a handful of laps ago, and more lap traffic ahead. Dakota Knoll, teammate to Chicano, right ahead of him. Like you mentioned, Josh, quick work between that 4 and 29.
And now, in the 25 and the 5, didn't spend much time side by side. So we saw, got an hole in the wall. Just kind of staying out of the way.
One in P7 right now.
So, no trucks between the two, Lester and Chicano. And Chicano actually has clean track in front of him. Jason Gracias crosses the line. Takes 7 laps to go.
Huge run there through 3 and 4 for Joseph Lester. He is going to eat up this gap between the 25 and him really quick, I believe.
See Chicano really riding the wall. These two drivers, they have battled towards the end of every race we've had outside of Daytona, where these two battled pretty hard early on before an incident occurred.
5 laps to go, Josh. I think they're going to catch some lap trucks ahead of them. Spice this up a bit.
Zach Probst is 2 seconds ahead of Chicano. 5 laps to go. I'm not so sure they'll get up to Probst. This is battle for second place.
Probst, of course, the first truck 1 lap down, running in 6th spot right now, so he is running, of course, pretty steady lap times.
Chicano, he's picked up the pace. Actually was quicker than Lester. And the quickest truck on track that last time by. Chicano knows pressure is on. 3 laps to go. Once again, quicker than the 4. And the quickest truck on track. I think Chicano was saving something for the end here. Two laps to go. Dakota Knoll just came down pit road. And Jason Gracias takes the white flag. Final lap in your Weekend Warrior 200. Jason Gracias through 3 and 4. He's going to get himself another short track win. And Alonso Chicano is going to hold off Joseph Lester, winner at AutoClub. So Alonso Chicano started 15th, finishes 2nd here. Joseph Lester, after winning the first stage, finishes P3. See there the beautiful C2 graphics. Chevrolet of Jason Gracias celebrating.
Yeah, just a dominant night, like we mentioned throughout most of it, of course. And of course, he's going to be ecstatic to pull off another one of these. And he's celebrating the way he does best in style, dominating those tires like that and just screeching them with all that smoke. And he might have just killed the truck right there.
Well, before we do our interviews, let's go ahead and go down our unofficial finishing results. Finishing first, tonight's winner of the Your Weekend Warrior 200, Jason Gracias. Alonso Chicano brings it home P2. Joseph Lester, P3. Alexander Kerfan, P4. And Justin Durant, last truck on the lead lap, finishes P5.
Sixth place is going to be tonight's pole sitter, Zach Probst. Seventh is Brett Bennett. Cameron Caldwell finishes 8th. Nick Dornick, 9th. Michael Kruger rounds out the top 10.
Kayla Mccurry, 2 laps down, finishes 11th. Dawson Allen finishes P12. Dakota Knoll finishes 13th. Andrew Elias, 14th. And Jeremy Richmond finishes 15th.
16th is Tyler Watermolen. 17th, Noah Mayuri. 18th is going to be Leo Bonacasa. 19th place tonight finishing is going to be David Durant, and Wesley Rose rounds out the top 20 positions, with Kyle Ruda 21st and William Mountain rounding out the 22 truck field tonight, Josh.
Let's go ahead and bring in our third place finisher, Joseph Lester. Joseph, you had a great run tonight. Of course, starting P6, winning the first stage, and ultimately finishing P3. Pit strategy came into play, and was a one-stop strategy, which you initially thought, and I initially thought it was going to be two pit stop strategy there at the end. What got it done there to finish P3, and what was it going to take to try to get up to Jason Gracias?
Just my teammate, Michael Kruger, was the only one that was running out of all of us left. Other than me, he did a good job, and I mean, I didn't have anything for Jason after that first stage. I tried saving some tire at the beginning of that run. Then we were like 3 wide for like 4 straight laps. I don't know who that was with me. I know Zach was in there, but Jason just saved tires and was fast short run too. I couldn't do that.
Uh, Going back to that three-wide battle, I'm very curious. You guys, I don't know how you guys were able to hold that off for as many laps as you guys did. What was it like with you running the bottom and trying to not get into Nick Dornick, who was all the way up top, and Zach Probst, who was in the middle?
It was a pain. I thought I caught him from quite a bit back, and I just couldn't get by them. They were racing too. We burned up our stuff doing that, but it was fun. I think one of them's gonna send it into the iRacing Instagram or whatever. Maybe you'll see it there.
Well, great run tonight, of course. But before I let you go, I gotta know who gets done behind that Ford truck.
I mean, Piston Broke Racing, JCTV Racing. Um, we sort of did the same thing as Radius and Vortex. Then I gotta thank you all at JCTV. Gotta thank SRM for letting me broadcast for them Sunday and Friday nights. And I'd like to thank my dad for spotting for me. And I mean, it was a great race. Just wish I could have kept up with those guys.
Actually, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Rather than letting you go now, I'm just kind of curious. What's it like, having you and I have a lot of chemistry together with me spotting you, but I'm curious, what's it like having a difference in your dad, Damon, spot for you rather than someone like me?
It's not that much different. I mean, you're more talkative. He's more of a guy that's just gonna tell me outside, inside, whatever. And if he asks me, or if I ask him what lap times the leader's running, he'll tell me. And if I ask him what the fuel mileage is, he'll tell me. Might take him a little bit to do the math, but yeah, it's not that much different.
All right. Well, great run. Finished in third place. We'll let you get back doing what you're doing post race. That was Joseph Lester, driver of the Ford truck. Adam, I believe you have Alonzo Chicano.
Yeah, Alonso, not really a great start to the race, kind of started mid-pack, but he fought up just outside the stage points there early on and turned it into a runner-up finish. How'd you do that tonight?
Honestly, I have no idea. Wasn't really sure what kind of pace I was gonna have during the race, just because during practice I wasn't really running that fast the laps, and during qualifying just didn't really make a mistake, but just was just slow. So um, thankfully we had decent pace just throughout both short run and long run, at least enough to be able to stay competitive and be able to keep my position. But yeah, that was pretty exhausting. That was one of the most tiring races so far this season.
We were watching it from up here. Did you get worried there when you saw that Ford truck coming right on you there in the last couple laps?
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely was worried. He definitely had really good long run pace. So I felt like there was a chance that he could have got to me because I wasn't sure exactly how much left he had. But thankfully, I was saving a bit too, and once he got about half a second behind me, I was able to pick up the pace and just kind of keep him back there. And um, thankfully, we just had enough to finish out P2 here.
Obviously, Jason was so far gone, but did you have anything there for him at the end of that last stint to the end?
Um, maybe if we had a caution, I don't know. Um, he was really fast. Definitely like more than 10 laps. I feel like he would pull away, but if he would have had like a late caution or something, you never know. I feel like I could have pushed it a little bit more and maybe see if I had anything for him. But if it was a long run like that, then I think he just wasn't making any mistakes. So don't really think I had stood too much of a chance.
Anyone you'd like to shout out after a P2 finish here tonight in Iowa?
Yeah, of course. I like to thank Celsius for being on board. Had the Peach Vibe scheme on tonight. Like to thank In the Pits News Grid Network for sponsoring us and supporting us. Like to thank everyone watching at home. My girlfriend who's always supporting me. Um, JCTV and you guys for broadcasting and letting all our friends and families watch, and as well as Radius Racing, good group guys there on that team, and Vortex as well. So um, thank everybody there.
Congrats again on a run-up finish tonight, Alonso, and see you next week.
Thank you guys. Look forward to next week.
Now down to Victory Lane with Josh, I believe.
Yeah, that was Jason Gracias, or I'm sorry, Alonzo Chicano, who finished P2. I am with tonight's winner, Jason Gracias. Jason, dominating performance tonight. You started 8th place, finished P2 in the stage, almost had it won, uh, but you did win the race. And What was first of all the restart that you had once we went back from that stage break to get the lead like you did? What was it like from there and just kind of not looking back?
Yeah, Cam and the C2 Graphics Radius Racing folk took the chassis that we had in Richmond last season, and we brought it to Iowa, hoping good things would happen, and it looks like good things did happen. That restart, I was just surprised I had as much grip as I did. I was content with riding in second, trying to save my tires and make a late surge like I did at the end of first stage. But for whatever reason, on that restart, it's going up to the high line. It just the car stuck. So when I saw it stick, I just went for it, got the lead, and after that, clean air was king. And this C2 graphics Silverado was just on rails for the rest of the night.
You were pulling away from Alonso Chicano and Joseph Lester there, and they were kind of catching a little bit towards the end of the race, but you had such a huge lead. What was the pit strategy like? Were you planning on doing one stop, or were you thinking two stops and then um, changed it to one stop in the middle of the cycle?
The strategy was always to one stop it, but the hard decision was either trying to run it long or split it in half. And I've had races lost where I split it in half and caution came out. I had races lost where I went long and caution came out at the wrong time. So um, I just went for it, split it in half, hope it worked, and thankfully it worked out to my favor. The truck was pretty much um, everyone was equal after like 40 or 50 laps in tires. So if you had a gap, it was hard to close it in unless you're super saving your tires. And thankfully, the gap stabilized, even though those guys behind me had pressure tires than me, which tonight just worked out in my favor.
What was it like, of course, doing 150 laps under green flag conditions?
Um, Fun. I prefer long run races. I'm not a hot lapper by any means. So anywhere where you have to sit back, hit your rhythm, hit your marks, save your tires, and just pace yourself, I tend to do well. Hence Homestead last year, Richmond last year, and now here Iowa. So I prefer long runs. I prefer just some people might call them boring, but I prefer strategy races. I'm a race purist. So that holds true in my driving style as well.
Well, before I let you go, is there any sponsor team shout outs you'd like to give who gets done behind that one truck?
Yeah, just thanks to Cameron Caldwell and his admin team for the truck series they put on Saturday nights. A lot of fun to come out here and race after a long week. Thanks to In the Pits News for coming on board as title sponsor. Um, Thanks for Cam for believing in me and giving me this really good looking C2 graphics truck. Go C2 graphics. If you guys need anything paint scheme related, hit up Cam. Thanks to all the other associate sponsors for Radius Racing, Grid Network, SimShots, and thanks to JCT for the broadcast. They'll give me something to watch later tonight. And go C2 Graphics.
All right. Well, congrats on the win.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys. Happy Easter, everybody.
That was Jason Gracias, winner of tonight's event, the Weekend Warrior 200 at Iowa. Adam, that was a great race. Once again, another short track that has had amazing racing, just like every other race we have here from the In the Pits News Truck Series.
Yeah, like Jason mentioned, it was a strategy race this time. We didn't have all the cautions like I hinted at the beginning we might have seen. It played out the way everyone was kind of hoping for, a long strategy race with the tires wearing out and the pit stops coming to them. We saw split strategies. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for the guys who went off and tried something different. Because of that, we saw a very spread out race and one controlled by Jason Gracias, who came home with it, thankfully tonight for him and everyone who's looking for more.
Well, next week we go to Chicagoland, which is another fun track, 1.5 miles, and the backstretch is a little bit curved. Looking forward to that one, Adam. What do you think? Having that little bit of a curved backstretch is going to do, rather than being a straightaway.
I think it's going to make everyone even more aggressive next week. We saw how exciting the racing was at Charlotte, and that's a narrow racetrack. Chicago, very spread out front stretch, and with that curve, you can get 3, 4, 5 wide on the backstretch too, and really shakes up the entry into Turn 3. But it can happen, and it's happened before. But you got to be wary of when it does.
I'm definitely looking forward to that next week. 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time is when the pre-race show kicks off. Of course, 8 o'clock for qualifying, and green flag just after that. That's going to do it for us here from Iowa Speedway. Big shout out to C2 Graphics. You see whole new graphics package tonight, way different than what we've had in the past. This was all made thanks to C2 Graphics. Cameron Caldwell did an amazing job, and hopefully I utilized it all right tonight, and definitely a learning step, different from what I was used to. So big shout out to Cameron Caldwell, C2 Graphics, for the amazing package that we had tonight on screen, broadcasting package. So does more than just paint schemes. Saw Jason Gracias with that C2 Graphics Chevrolet in Victory Lane, but big shout out to C2 Graphics, MartinPC.com, your weekend warrior once again, twitch.tv/your weekend warrior. Is Nick Dornick over there. Adam Kuhn, big shout out to you being in the booth with me. Cameron Caldwell, Alonso Chicano, admins behind the In the Pits News Truck Series and the Pits News, of course. All the drivers, all you fans at home, and it's gonna do it. Happy Easter, everybody. Hope you guys enjoy the holiday. Have a safe, fun holiday. Stay safe in general. And till next time, take care.